What's up, mountain athletes and outdoor adventurers? Welcome to another episode of the Mountain Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Reed. Sitting right next to me, in person, can't believe it, is my good friend and co-host, Michael Maina. What's going on, brother?
Good morning. It's just been an epic week, and I can't believe everything we've done in this week, and I'm so grateful for both of you guys. I really am.
I was just going to say, why don't you go ahead and introduce our beautiful guest sitting to the left of me right here.
So to the left of us is Dawnell Fuller, and she is our mountain wellness event coordinator, but more important, she's become our friend. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Dawnell, welcome to the Mountain Wellness Podcast.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
You're our first official guest.
That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, for sure. So for the listeners, Dawnell and I met about, a month ago? No, 2 months?
Probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah, so 2 months ago, she came into the recovery den, actually, to get some work done, get some massage and body work done, and she sat down in my intake chair, and we maybe talked about massage for a total of 2 minutes, and she's like, yeah, so I've done a little research on you, and you got a pretty cool story.
Yeah, that was kind of amazing when I started doing some research on you and just kind of figuring out like your story and what your dreams, goals, ambitions, all of that kind of stuff. And from there, we just started talking about our dreams of outdoor wellness retreats.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
No, there was so much on the docket.
There was so much in alignment right away. I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, wow, this girl is like, God definitely dropped her right here. And there's a reason why we're having this discussion right now. So
Speaking of right here, why don't we tell them where we are?
Oh my gosh. So we are at the new Mountain Wellness location that we're going to be hosting retreats. So we have a strategic partnership with the Hope Center, which is located in the Elkhorn Mountains up in, would this be considered Montana City or Clancy?
Clancy.
Yeah, Clancy, Montana, which is just outside of Helena. It's only about a 15-minute drive up into the mountains. But Mike, maybe you can describe visually what is surrounding us right now. Pretty epic.
So actually right now we're at the back of the property, which I think sits on 19 or 20 acres, right?
Yeah, somewhere
in that neighborhood. I get that confused with the 21 garages. Directly behind us is the property, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. You'll be able to see this on YouTube, but it's just a massive property, and we also shot it from the air so you can kind of get an idea, but it's an extraordinary place, and the story behind it is actually extraordinary too.
Tell it. Let's hear it.
I don't know all the details. I just know
I think between the three of us we can put it together. So I know he was a very wealthy individual that worked in broadcasting.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Had owned a broadcasting company. Obviously did really well. And I don't know his relationship to Montana, but he built a beautiful estate here in the Elkhorn Mountains. As Mike mentioned, it's sitting on about 20 acres with a natural hot spring and a creek running through it and amazing granite rock formations. And the house itself is probably 20,000 square feet.
Yeah, that was my guess.
Yeah,
because I've been in 10,000s, and I'm like, it seems double the size.
I mean, especially walking around this place blind, it took me a good couple days being here to get a sense of where I was. But yeah, so it's massive, and there's 2 or 3 different, I guess, separate living quarters, you would say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just one estate. That's all inclusive. I mean, there's separate living quarters within it, and just a beautiful piece of architecture. The woodwork in this place is just incredible.
Yeah, I understand Mr. Rogers, with his last name, Mr. Rogers, not the Mr. Rogers, but in the broadcasting world, he also had a massive art collection. But this is before he passed away. I know he's passed away, I think, in
Yeah.
2014 or
Yeah, it's been,
2015.
I think, like 5 years or so
Yes.
that he passed away.
And so he had a massive art collection inside with, and also didn't he have the world's
Largest
Saddle.
silver saddle collection.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, yeah, I didn't get the pleasure of seeing the house completely furnished before he passed away, but I heard it was just absolutely immaculate with high-end furnishings, with just completely country western throughout the whole thing.
And I've been hearing he was very generous with his helping people and just trying to make things better for people in Montana, I understand.
Yes, and his late wife is still alive. She lives in California, and they support several several nonprofits.
Okay.
And very generous with their money and very kind people.
Nice.
Yeah, so he passed away, and the property, I think you mentioned this morning that he like donated the property to his neighbor or something like that.
Well, one of the next door
We're
neighbors.
piecing the story together, guys.
Yeah, his caretaker, when he passed away, for being a faithful caretaker for many years, he put in his will to gift the property that is like one of these little houses. It's a little sister to this one, and so
Sure.
they have like 20 acres and a beautiful property that he left for them.
Wow.
Which is really,
yeah. So
yeah.
he just sounds like just a
Mhm.
good dude. And then the main property was bought by a nonprofit organization, which is the Hope Center. And the Hope Center is a Christian ministry that has locations, I believe, Tennessee, Montana, and a few other states. They have quite a number of locations.
Saying like worldwide.
Oh, they are.
They're
Okay, so they're
worldwide.
international.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a sober living house, but it's not just your basic sober living. They really integrate lifestyle, especially with health and wellness, which was a perfect partnership for us. Because that kind of leads to the actual day of the event, or the event itself. We had some last minute changes because this extraordinary opportunity came to be. And Dawnell, you can kind of share a little bit about how that happened. 'Cause I got a call from Dawnell like 4 days before the event was supposed to, the original location that we had, and she's like, Corey, I have an opportunity and I want to talk to you about it. I don't know if it's too last minute to switch it up, but I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, it was kind of just a God thing. I reached out to my friend who's the director here, Caroline, and asked her if she would be willing to host the retreat, and just kind of wanting a place that if the weather changed, we'd have some indoor locations if we needed to move the retreat inside. But thank goodness it was a beautiful day, and
Oh, the weather was perfect.
All week long.
Yeah, the weather was perfect. And that's what I wanted to ask you, Mike. First trip with Mountain Wellness.
Mhm.
I know you went to a reservation, did some documentary filming for the Wolf Connection years ago. So what are your thoughts on Montana, brother?
Well, of course, landing in the airport, it's probably my favorite airport in the world because it's like walking into someone's house. It's small and it's really beautiful and it's quiet. And so that was right away, you get that feeling, okay, I've left the busy, constant distraction, constant noise lifestyle. It's gone. I just, you leave the city and you land and you're in Montana, and it's just this peaceful place. And so the air is also different. When you walk outside, the air is just somehow, it's just mountain air. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
And so, we've been talking about this on the podcast for months, and I've been just like cringing, like, I want to go. So it was amazing to land and to experience. Like right now we're out behind the property, and it's beautiful outside.
Yeah, and for the listeners, this piece of property is in the Elkhorn Mountains. So as I'm sitting here right now, I don't have the visual, but I can hear the wind just sweeping through the trees. Well, that's crazy. A big gust just started right as I said that. Birds chirping in the background, and the visual.
Giant wind muff up in the air. If I can get that.
Yeah, guys, we put this podcast together. Mike and I planned on recording at the Recovery Den, where I usually record, and we were just gonna have Dawnell come there and do it in studio. But after being on site here at the Hope Center, it was just like, man, this place is so spectacular and beautiful. Being an outdoor adventure brand, I'm like, I feel like there's no better place to record the podcast than outside when you're here in Montana. So
We wanted to be outdoors for sure.
yeah, it's gorgeous. So the event itself, and it was a lot of fun. I thought it just went amazing, just being able to, and for the listeners, just to sort of unpack it, with Mountain Wellness, we're passionate about outdoor adventure sports, outdoor recreation, but equal to that, we are just as passionate about health and performance in general, overall wellness. So when we talked about doing the retreat, it's like, what can we put together that really brings in both of those loves that we have, both of those passions. And, it's okay. Well, we love yoga. We love breath work. We love to eat clean and have good food. We love to be outside hiking in nature. And that's exactly what we did. Is instead of doing yoga in a studio, we had a yoga instructor come up and coach yoga out on this beautiful rock cropping. Just this amazing backdrop, and that was early in the morning, so we kind of had like a sunrise yoga session, and then we headed back to, I guess let's just call it the dining hall for now, because this place is just, I don't even know what to call the rooms. It's not like a typical house where you're like, oh yeah, we were in the dining room or the living room.
I know.
And so we had Lexi.
Yep, that's
Correct.
our caterer. Yep,
Yes.
Savoring Grace.
Amazing
From-
food.
yes.
Tell us a little bit about.
Shout out to Lexi, amazing chef. And Dawnell, like, if you could sort of describe the food, we got a lot of, I'm sure, foodies on this podcast.
Yeah,
What'd she prep us for breakfast? Because that was incredible.
Yeah, Lexi is just an amazing cook, amazing
Sweetheart,
friend,
too.
super
Yeah.
nice person, great to work with. She's been such a blessing. But yeah, she whipped up some frittatas, and they were so good. Lots of fresh fruit. The display was absolutely gorgeous.
The one with spinach, kale, and
Feta or Gouda or
yeah,
something
it was
like
amazing because I'm not a huge fan of those ingredients sometimes, but it was
Yeah, it was paired together
incredible.
so well.
Yeah.
Oh, the fresh figs, and yeah, it was the perfect start to really fuel our bodies after, getting some yoga, getting our bodies
Yeah.
prepped and ready, giving us that fuel that we need to start our day. Yeah, it was really
It was
really
perfect, and everything was all organic, farm to table, locally sourced, which I was totally stoked about that. We don't want to be feeding our participants Captain Crunch for breakfast at a health and wellness retreat. We're like, oh yeah, we forgot about food. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so we had some good conversation at breakfast, and then we went out front, and there's another nice little spot that I led some performance breath work. So
Oh man, that was intense.
yeah, I was actually looking forward to asking you
Yeah.
about that on the podcast.
Let's hear it.
Because I think that was the first time you've done a Wim Hof style
Is that right?
hypoxic.
Yeah.
First time?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, breath work. I was like, oh, we're gonna do some relaxation, like take a deep breath, let your body relax. And this Wim Hof breath work is kind of intense. You're like breathing a little bit hard. You're holding your breath. Getting all these endorphins going. It was kind of an incredible experience being able to, I'm not very good at holding my breath. I found out I was like the first one to always be like, I can't breathe. But
That's normal.
yeah, it was interesting. Just the feeling that you get through your whole body prepping and getting things ready for that endurance workout. And,
Yeah.
but it completely like changed the whole afternoon, because after you're done, you're like revitalized,
Yeah.
like refreshed, you feel really good. And it was like,
that was my intention behind it. That's why I did it. Led everybody through that exercise before the physical exercise, which shout out to John at Premier Fitness.
Yeah,
here
straight
in
up
Helena,
into some
Montana.
CrossFit.
That was a crazy workout.
Yeah,
I watched you
and
guys.
that was amazing too. So we did breath work and just got everybody in the right mindset. Because it was funny. I'm like, we eat lunch and I'm like, all right, guys, we're gonna go do some breath work now, and then John's gonna lead an exercise, and the room was like kind of quiet. Everybody's like, I don't know if I want to do exercise.
Yeah.
And
No, everybody was intimidated by it. Everybody had their own feeling. They're like, so what kind of exercises are these? Were our questions.
Yeah, and I had a little bit of a conversation with John, so I knew that it was definitely going to be a HIIT style training, like high intensity circuit based. So I was like, okay, I got to do something to get them in the right mindset, because we just ate all this delicious food from Lexi. So yeah, we did some breath work, and it was cool because I remember you even came up to me afterwards. You're like, yeah, if you wouldn't have said like it's totally normal to be tingling on my extremities, and because I was like, my lips were tingling, my face is tingling, and so that was pretty funny to hear your experience with that. And then we went right into the garage. So we kind of had the garage driveway. John set it up with I don't know, probably 10 different stations. Everything from, gosh, like battle ropes to, he had a lot of fun equipment. With me being in the CrossFit, coming from the CrossFit world, it was very functional fitness based, but he had a lot of fun toys. Like
Yeah.
those,
Balance balls.
yeah, those balance
Yep,
burpees.
those look fun.
I've never done those before, but those are totally different than just your standard burpee. So Cameron and I, Mike's son, made it out too. We're hoping to get him on the podcast.
One of these days. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been mentioned so many times.
Yeah, totally.
So Cameron also did Mike's, because that I believe that that was the last episode recapping Mike's John Muir trip. So Cameron was also on that with him. So we got to get Cameron on to talk about. He's been doing a lot of mountain wellness stuff.
He's always there. Yeah, he's always with us. And now he's in Lake Havasu though on his birthday. So he's having a good time.
Oh yeah, man, not a bad life going from Montana to Lake Havasu
In like 24 hours.
I think those are my two favorite places.
Yeah.
Mountain life to boat life. So, yeah, Cam and I like crushed that workout. That for me, you know, anytime you're like leading an event, there's so many things, and all three of us I know can agree to that, because we all had different responsibilities. Dawnell was managing all of our different partners, and then Mike was just crushing it with media. We had, we were filming basically two pieces at once. We were vlogging our trip just with Mountain Wellness, Mike being here, but then also working on some marketing pieces for future retreats. We're excited to offer the listeners and anybody that wants to get out to Montana to experience some of the stuff we're talking about. So it was after that workout, I just felt so amazing. Like, I think between the breath work and just getting after some high intensity exercise, it was, and not to mention in the Elkhorn Mountains, like outside, you couldn't have a better setting.
It was incredible. And I think that's one of the things that I get excited about too, is just the idea of sharing this. It was neat to have the group together and take the shuttle to where we hiked.
Yeah.
Take the group up to do breath work. There's something that happens when you get a group of people together experiencing these different exercises or these different wellness modalities. I don't know, what do you call these?
Modalities. Totally.
And to be able to
techniques.
share that. There's something about sharing that with a group and watching them go through it and knowing that it's good for them, and it just feels so good to share that.
For sure.
I got a lot out of that. It just, anytime I'm filming something, I'm a big observer of everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Because I'm not actually in it. And so I think of that aspect of it. I really love that aspect of it was different than SEAL Fit when you were getting the hose down. It's like, man, go easy on
And
them.
that was, I know for you, a profound experience behind the camera, watching me go through SEAL Fit.
Yeah. So it was nice to be on this end of it, watching you guys go through wellness. It was a lot. But although the workout was heavy duty, I thought you guys were.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it was good.
Sure.
I mean, he set it up to where you could, go at your own pace, your own intensity.
Yeah.
So everybody got something out of it. it was and to your point, Mike, I think the other thing that was going on too is with COVID. It was so nice to be with a group and just being social.
Having those lasting relationships that like you came in, some of us were acquaintances, but by the end of the trip, we left friends and making memories and experiences together, and breaking bread together, sharing those meals, and just conversation and just being in the outdoors was just incredible.
Wasn't it? Is it Ginny Jandaran was a friend of mine that she did some photography.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Sweet.
Shooting photography, still photography, capturing a lot of content for us. And then after the workout, we had Kurt from Vigilante Shuttle Service here in Helena, which Kurt's I love his vision and just his overall brand that he's building. Big mountain biker. So for those of you that don't know, Helena has like a silver star, I believe is the rating, goes on the National Mountain Bike Association. So we have 175 miles of single track right here in the right in Helena, and hundreds of miles even outside of that. So Kurt is very involved in the local mountain bike scene, and he put together a business plan and executed it to provide shuttle service for outdoor mountain athletes and outdoor adventurers, primarily catering to mountain bikers. So he'll drop you off at the trailhead and pick you up at the ending point of whatever trailhead whatever trail you're doing. But just a cool dude. Like, that was the first time I met Kurt, and I know his boy Brian Elliott and Jason O'Neill and sort of a couple other people in his circle, and it was just like immediately when I met him, like, yeah, like, you're totally in alignment with mountain wellness and what we're doing here. So
is Brian the one who's been to the recovery den? Is that?
Yeah, exactly. Elliot's the one that only shows up to the recovery den when he's hurt. And it's always like the first time Elliot showed up to the den, he had this giant like contusion / deep bruise on his quad, and he's like, yeah man, I fell off my mountain bike and he went right into like a tree. Like he smacked his quad out of a tree. So anyways, I ended up it had been a good week since he had it, and he's like, man, it's just locked up. I just feel like, and so I told him, like, yeah, I'm gonna do some deep tissue work, but I'm warning you right now, the next morning you're gonna, all that bruise and that blood that's settled deep in the deep tissue, it's gonna come to the surface.
Oh wow.
So the next morning he texts me, he's like, dude, you weren't kidding, man. My whole leg is just like purple, yellow and purple. Man. But yeah, so anyways, he Elliot's one of the local pro mountain bikers here that rides for Transition Bikes, and we definitely plan on getting him on the podcast, and I think now we have to, since I mentioned him.
Yeah, totally. Right, got to get him out here. Also, did we talk about the Dome House? Did we talk about that?
Talk about
that place is amazing.
Location, because I know we're going to be doing some smaller retreats up there too.
Yeah, Creekside Meadows is a new wedding venue, and also has a vacation rental on it. That's a Hobbit house, a dome home.
So cool.
Super awesome. But we're just getting some building plans together for a multi-purpose venue. We plan on having some small cabins so that we can facilitate retreats, weddings, any kind of like gathering. I'd love to really get involved with the Elkhorn Endurance Run and be able to facilitate in the Elkhorns, just just minutes away from the trails and BLM land. I mean,
your location is like incredible.
Mm-hmm.
What in it? 15 acres, creek running through it.
Absolutely gorgeous.
And one thing about Montana, it's like property. I think that's the coolest part.
little piece of heaven here on earth.
Yeah.
It's just so
No, big pieces of
gorgeous.
heaven. I mean, like we're in California, where
I
I'm
was just
at.
gonna say, Mike
we
and
get
I are
like
Southern Californians. you know.
concrete jungle with little postage stamps. Yeah.
It's really incredible. And once you like just get out to the property, whether it's here at the Hope Center, up at Creekside Meadows, there's just like this sense of like serenity, and there's just peace, and it's quiet and beautiful, and
Yeah.
you're
It's the lifestyle
Yeah.
that I wanted to
Exactly.
live. That's why I'm here.
Mhm.
yeah.
It's incredible.
It's a dream
Now we
come
just
true
got to
for
work
sure.
on Mike.
I know. I'm like, I got to build a tiny home and just like tow it up here. Just like ask people, hey man, you got a little spare piece of land? No, it's going to be, it's not going to be long. I can just tell. I think,
Yeah, so we had an incredible week. And Dawnell,
Mhm.
you've always lived in Montana, right?
This is
You're
home.
local, you're home.
This is where I grew up, and
wow.
I've just always when you live in Montana, you have to embrace like all of the changing seasons.
Yeah.
Winter's long, fall is short, summer's a few months, and then you have a little bit of spring. And so getting involved in all the mountain activities, whether it's skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, snowshoeing, cross country ski, like
It's all here.
you just have to, and unless you want to be cooped up, you just got to embrace it and just get out there and just, but I mean.
Funny story about that I had when I first moved to Montana. And Mike, how are we doing on batteries, by the way? 'Cause
I'm going to go check real
we're
quick.
recording
Yep.
this episode outside, so we're on a full battery system, guys. So Mike's going to check the levels for us right now. But so when I first moved here, Dawnell, I had my prosthetist, actually, guy that builds my badass prosthetic legs. His son moved literally like right about the same time moved here. And the only reason he moved here is because his wife or his fiance, she's a librarian. And I guess when you become a librarian, there's like you do an internship at like a federal library. So she got a position at the Helena Federal Library or whatever, the big library here. So I was talking to Rick about it, and he's like, I mean, because he was basically getting feedback from his son, who's not an outdoorsman at all, like not into outdoors whatsoever. And he goes, Montana, like Helena, like there's just nothing to do there. And like I had to pause and
Wow,
literally
come
sit
on.
there, okay, like let me digest this comment. And I'm like, all right, well, I know his son is definitely not into outdoor, action sports, adventure sports. So yeah, if you were not into outdoor adventure sports or outdoor recreation, it would be like a horrible place to live, especially in the winter.
If you were, if you were a gamer and you just hung out as a gamer, forget it.
But I told him on the flip side, I said, no, I mean, it just depends what your lifestyle is.
Yeah.
For me, it couldn't be a better, like
Totally.
everything, from rock climbing to snowboarding to off-roading to
Cycling.
four-wheeling. to
Climbing
hiking,
too, right?
Climbing, alpinism,
Yeah, it's all here.
backpacking, floating, and just the overall, just the mountain lifestyle. I think that's been incredible to just be living that and raising my boys in it. And I know Dawnell has a few little ones. Well, you got a teenager now, so.
9 and 14.
Yeah,
So
so
they're
you're
not
really getting
so
into
little
it.
anymore. So yeah, and it's awesome being able to raise them in that lifestyle as well. Like people, come to Montana for vacation, and it's these amazing experiences, and which it is. But my kids are growing up in a way that this
They
is
don't know
their
any
this
different.
is their everyday. Like
Yeah.
this is what we do on the weekends, and
Yeah. I was talking to Mike about that when we were over at your property the other day, flying the drone, getting some footage. Grady was playing in the creek, and I'm just like, how cool is this that that's just his normal. He won't know any different. That's just the way he's growing up. So that was a cool moment for me.
And the other thing I got to connect to that, what you're talking about, that lifestyle that you're growing up in, is I also noticed the friendliness of the people here.
Yeah.
I know it sounds kind of weird, but
No,
like I'm
it's
saying
true.
in general, like we went to park just at the base camp. We were over there parking,
Yeah.
and
It's our
Catherine,
local outdoor consignment shop.
she's trying to operate the little parking meter, and lady's like, oh, do you need help? She comes right up, starts helping her through the whole thing. And it even with driving, it's like people will smile at you, or I don't know if it's because I was doing something stupid, but they were smiling because they were just friendly. And then of course all the vendors that you brought out, all super friendly. And it's like there's a slower pace here. It's not like LA where it's like everybody's got an angle and everybody's going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And so here it's not that way. And so it's the perfect place for wellness and recovery. I mean, you couldn't have picked a perfect place for mountain wellness.
Yeah, it's a good place to root the brand and lay a foundation.
Yeah, I have friends that come up, and you always hear about Southern hospitality, but Montana hospitality is just, the people around here are just incredible. It's just like,
yeah, it's like on a different
community
level.
that supports one another, and when you go out, you see people that you recognize, that you've hung out with, that you've collaborated with, and the community here is really great.
Yeah, no, it's I had that experience yesterday. I was doing some banking. I was talking to first time I met my banker, and by the time I'm getting up to walk out, he's like, "Here's my personal cell phone number. If you need any help at all, just give me a call." Like, I'm not talking
just
about.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah. And he's like, "I'm not talking about banking. And if you need a ride, if you guys need help,"
awesome.
and I'm like, "This is cool." So
Yeah.
shout out to Helena. You guys,
Yeah.
you guys did good.
Amazing.
Well, I think it's a perfect place to wrap it up. You guys have any other?
The sun is getting hot.
Yeah, sun's starting to pound on us.
Yeah, no,
Birds
I
are chirping.
totally.
It's time to get out and go do a hike or something.
Yeah, and I just want to thank both of you for having me in here and hosting me and taking care of me, really. I mean, you took care of my wife and I, Dawnell, and you guys both.
Shout out to Catherine, too.
Yeah.
Catherine was incredible, and Mike's wife helped with, so much. So.
Yeah, and so I'm so grateful for you, for your hospitality and how you guys take care of us.
I love you, bro. It's so amazing to have you out here, and excited to have you as a partner, both you guys as a partner with Mountain Wellness.
That's amazing.
Dawnell being our event coordinator, and Mike heading all media and content, and master at post-production and music composer.
It's
just like a total ninja. And he's so humbled, so that's why I got to pump him up right now.
It's just experimenting with things I don't understand. That's all it really is.
Sweet. All right. Well, sitting here at the right in the Elkhorn Mountains, recording this episode, getting ready to sign off. If you guys are interested in learning more about mountain wellness, if this is your first time listening, your first episode, go check out our previous ones. I think we're at like number 10 now or 11.
Yeah, we're close to 10. Yep.
So we're it's feeling good. I'm really enjoying this, and I'm glad we were able to knock one out live here together in person.
And how exciting is it to possibly have listeners out there that may be coming to one of our retreats in Montana? How cool would that be?
Yeah.
It'd be so amazing being able to serve our community, our country, just to be able to instill those values of mountain wellness, and just feeding them and hosting them and making memories.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. Well, like I said, if you guys want to learn more about mountain wellness and our up and coming retreats, we haven't put anything together yet. COVID's been just a pain in our butt trying to plan stuff, but we got the destination, we got the incredible team, and we'll be putting some stuff together and sharing it with you guys. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for all the reviews on all of our platforms.
Thank you.
You guys have just been amazing with the 5-star reviews. I don't think we've gotten anything less. Now we're gonna get like a 2-star and a bad review.
It's like, those guys' batteries die out in the forest. What's with those guys?
Like,
what's that guy got the big fur thing in his
that
face?
muff in that guy's face? Is that his mask? Is that his COVID mask?
Yeah, this is how I stay safe.
So much love, guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.